let's talk, let's talk about the statement from the governor. You know, he is it's called on the good people of Rivers State, you know, to remain peaceful and law-abiding. Your thoughts on this?
I think Fubara, mere seeing him, you know, that it seems to be, he is a peaceful person, you know. Perhaps out of annoyance, that was why he actually made that statement that, you know, prompted all this, the issue about the emergency rule and all that. But now he's calling on the people because he has the backing of the people, you know, just like the lawmakers also have backing of the people. So the only thing he needs to do is to tell them to remain calm and patient. Okay. Because if he doesn't, people will just take laws into their hands, and at the end of the day, we'll have a serious crisis in our hands. So for now, he has to keep appealing. He has to keep talking to people. And, you know, there was a time I also said something here, and which was him as the governor. He needs to change the people who are around him. He needs to also go into his closet, inside his room, and then start thinking all by himself and not let people, this one will come, he will talk. This one will come, he will talk. Because at the end of the day, he will make a wrong move or a wrong decision. So, but this is the time, nobody thought this will come. Sure. You know, nobody. But I feel perhaps this is like a second chance for him to start thinking, okay, maybe I made a major error. Is this something that I can fix? Is this something that, you know, we can push for us to, you know, find a lasting solution to? And that if he can now come to that realization, there is nothing stopping him from calling the president now to say, I'm ready for us to solve this problem. But the major thing is he has to keep telling the people not to take up arms, for them to be calm, and that things will go back the same way again. And that is the only thing he needs to do. Now,
actually, the governor, also blamed the pro-Wike lawmakers, you know, for this crisis. It's not like a blame game. Now, but do you agree with the governor on this matter?
Well, there are two sides to this issue. The Fubara faction and then the Wike faction. So it's natural to expect that one will blame each other for the crisis that has happened. But I think two of them, you know, need to share in the blame. Because if one party, you know, are decided to make peace, there is no one that can make peace in this kind of crisis. Expect yourself. If you make up your mind that it's time for me to make peace. If one of them are decided to make peace with the other, they will not make this crisis at all. The interesting is that they have been together for so many years. They had worked together. They have been in the same political party. They've eaten together, drank together, and from the same river state. So if peace, if it was of paramount to the two of them, they should have been able to find a common ground. You know, and I think that, for me, you know, I've said it repeatedly on this, you know, program, that look, if I were Fubara, I would have handled this issue differently. Because there is no state that, you know, it's not the first time we've had crisis between, you know, your successor and then, you know, the manner you handle the issue is key. This problem started 4 months, barely 4 months after coming to power. If I were him, I would have been more tactical. You know, I would have taken my time to establish myself. And I would have also listened to the other opposition and then yield some grounds. Because you are a younger person. You are coming for the first time. In fact, this is the first time we're having, you know, a governor from Ijoland being the governor of that state. So, you know, you have to concede a lot of things just because you want to ensure that you are able to rule at least for 4 years and then look for the other. Because we are just looking at the River State. These things happen all over the country. The difference is that people handle this problem differently. So I think that, you know, these 6 months should give you an opportunity to go back to the drawing board and look at some of the mistakes.
Like a sober reflection.
Yes. I don't think this kind of threat about bombing and all that, I don't think that can be sustained. Because the Niger Delta people are fighting for resource control, for human rights. That has nothing to do with, you know, grievances between two individuals. You know?
All right then. All right, BK, the president, you know, gave his reasons, you know, for declaring a state of emergency as enshrined in Section 305 of the Constitution. But The PDP says the president has no right to declare state of emergency in Rivers State. I need your thoughts on this.
Well, that is the opinion of the PDP, and many Nigerians share that opinion. What people do not want to see is something that is similar to a military coup.
Okay.
They want power to move from person to person as stipulated in the Constitution. They do not want people to lose their positions by fiat. And so this is the way many people think. Many people felt that the president's decision was harsh and that there should have been a better way to handle it. But again, the leaders in Rivers State and the elephant-sized egos of the governor, Minister Nyesom Wike, the lawmakers, push the president to the wall. And you can imagine, even when the assembly demanded to screen the governors, commissioners, and some other aides, they ran to court.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are not screened by properly constituted assembly, it means you have not been screened. So what is the point in running to court? Just trying to stop the process. Just trying to delay the process, even when the Supreme Court has given an order. Why didn't they take steps to just comply with the Supreme Court's order as soon as the order was made, so that people will now decide whether indeed it is Wike and his 27 lawmakers who are the real enemies of peace? But if you are taking steps to make sure that even the Supreme Court order was not fully implemented, because by asking to screen those people, there's nothing that the Assembly had done wrong, because without a properly constituted house screening them, they are holding office illegally. But this guy still went to court just trying to make sure that it didn't happen. And a lot of people were coming into Rivers State to ensure that no resolution was found to this problem. I kept talking about it.
Yes.
People will leave their states, and go to Rivers and go and be making money off a governor who is so politically naive. And at the end of the day, what have we achieved? And once bombing of pipelines began,
okay,
nobody could determine what will happen next. At that point, the president, in his wisdom, backed by his advisors, and I was told that the president consulted a lot of people, including National Assembly members, security people, before he took his decision. So it wasn't a decision that he took alone. But by practice, by convention, he would take all the blame. So this is what we are seeing. He just felt that, look, I had to find a way to solve this problem.
Okay.
You can imagine people told the president that he had no right to interfere in Rivers crisis. Who took him to court for interfering in Rivers crisis? They are the same people who went back to him to say to Mr. President, what do we do? If anybody got up, any madman got up in the US and he went to bomb some of the oil pipelines in Texas, where America has is the highest number of where they have the highest number of what's it called?
Refineries and all.
refineries, are they going to just simply look at that person and allow him to do it again and again? Of course, they'll use military action. No country jokes with its economic lifeline. Even the mere attempt, the effort taken by Egypt to stop people from having access to Suez Canal, it led to a war. It led to a war. Because they could see that you are trying to crush them economically.
Okay.
So I just think that hopefully lessons have been learned. Hopefully after 6 months, Fubara will come back to his job. That is what I want to see. I want him to complete his term.
Yes.
But he also has to help himself. He also has to help himself.
All right. Then.
Dismiss the thieves who are leaving their states, the greedy people who are leaving their states to come and foment trouble in your state, misadvising you, miseducating the people, quoting law by turning law upside down. He has to move against those people to say, okay, enough. When a man gets married, the mediator's job immediately comes to an end. The person bringing them together, the matchmaker, his job comes to an end. There's a need for the crisis in Rivers State to come to an end. That's what we want to see.
All right, then.